Welcome back to the Cowpart Bros podcast. Jason and I are just back from another spirited discussion about the status of police work here in our fine country called America. Jason, I don't know about you, but I've definitely had some issues sleeping the last week or so. Um, I don't know if it's the weather or what, um, but I know you sent me a link about sleep hygiene and 8 ways to train your brain for better sleep. Let me start first off. How many hours of sleep do you think you get at night?
Well, not even going into the conversation about quality sleep, um, but I don't get as much as I should. Now, and granted, we'll go into this, but a lot of it's intentional. But eh, I might get 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. Well, exactly. But again, some of that's my fault on design, which I'll go into. But that's my answer to your question.
My God, I thought I was bad with like five and a half. Yeah, I will typically go to bed around 10:30, 11 o'clock, and depending on what I got going on work wise the next day, I'll try to get up at either 4 or 5, and then go hit the gym. So I'm averaging around five and a half on average. All right. So looking at this, and this is an article on CNN, by the way. It talks about 8 ways to train your brain for better sleep, and it says one of the first ways to improve your sleep hygiene and get some Z's. It says one of the first tasks is to set up your sleep environment. The REM or dreaming stage of sleep is a lighter level of rest that can be more easily disrupted. So strive to have a comfortable mattress and bedding that's not too hot. Science tells us that we sleep better in cooler temperatures of about 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. I'll do the next one, and then Jason, you can do the next two after that. Develop a routine. Set up a bedtime ritual by taking a warm bath or a shower, reading a book, or listening to some soothing music. Or you can try deep breathing, yoga, meditation, or light stretches. You're teaching your brain to wind down and stick to it. Go to bed and get up at the same time each day, even on weekends or your days off. The CDC advises. The body likes routine.
Personally, I feel that one probably is the most important of the eight. Just my personal opinion. But yeah, but number three is cut the lights. Uh, and of course, I think we all heard this before, but we never really knew why. But basically, secretion of the sleep hormone melatonin begins at dark or when it's dark. Research has found that the body will slow or stop melatonin production if exposed to light. So get rid of any light, including that blue light from your charging smartphone or laptop. So basically, if your room isn't dark enough, consider using a light blocking shades or eye masks or anything like that. Um, sometimes it can be challenging based off what you might like, or if a partner likes a lot of like to sleep with the lights on. Sometimes you might have to accommodate, which is where that wearing a mask comes into play, or light blocking something or whatnot. Now, this one number four is probably gonna be controversial for a lot of people who do this, but dampen sound. While you're dealing with the blue light from your smartphone, go ahead and turn off any work alerts, no snacks or no Slack or email pings at 2 a.m. But the reason why I say this is controversial for a lot of people,
We're
not
pro
because,
snacks here on South Park Pros.
well, not even that, but what I was going to say, not even that part of dampening sound, but a lot of people like sleeping with a fan on. And even though I know they do that for perhaps maybe coolness, maybe, yeah, exactly. They might do it for coolness, and I get that, as far as keeping them cool, which is also important based off, I think number one it was. But that noise might be partially keeping you awake or not helping you get into that deeper point of sleep. So maybe something to think about when it comes to the fan. Do I need it for noise? Do I need it for coolness? And maybe adjust your pattern around that. Um, Terrence, I'm almost betting you may have an issue with one of these next two. Read those off.
Oh, boycotting caffeine later in the day.
Boom. I
I
yeah, are you a big coffee
I'm good
drinker,
with what
Terrence?
kind of caffeine that is.
Okay.
I've been drinking coffee since I was 6.
Has your growth been stunted?
I'm 6 feet even.
See, you could have been 6'5". See what you missed out on?
Yeah, I wish. Um,
I
no,
think
it
that
says stop drinking caffeine liquids at least 6 hours before your normal bedtime. Some experts say nothing after 3 p.m. And caffeine is in more than just coffee. It also applies to some teas and sodas as well as chocolate. Yes, chocolate. That cup of hot chocolate you think may help you sleep could contain 25 milligrams of caffeine, while a cup of green or black tea will provide 50 milligrams of caffeine. I don't really have an issue with that one, Jason, mainly because I'm doing most of my caffeine consumption first thing in the morning. I I do think if you are a fan of caffeine, you should not be having that shit after like 3 p.m.
well, I
Because
mean,
yeah,
I don't
you are literally fucking with your brain, and you're gonna be all sorts of cracked out.
3
The
PM though
only
seems really
time
early.
the only time I've deviated from that, guys, by the way, is when I'm in like crazy crisis mode for either for like work or when I was doing stuff like working on term papers for school. But yeah, you know in my standard adult mode, yeah, typically I will get coffee early in the day, and whatever I get, I'm good with for that day. Um, I don't think you really need stuff like that after 3.
Now, what I
The
was saying
amount
is
of
3 PM
sugar in
seems
some of
so
those
early,
drinks
bro.
too probably isn't helping, by the way.
3 PM seems so early though. I mean, like, so let me ask you. So, if you had a cup of coffee at 3 p.m., are you still gonna be buzzing from that one cup of coffee at 10 p.m. when you're trying to go to bed?
I mean, probably because
Really?
3 o'clock is closer to dinner time. Um, Now, speaking of things that I also would not have a problem doing, um, it says skip the booze. Don't turn to alcohol to calm your nerves or help you sleep. Alcohol may help you fall asleep, but it traps you in the latter stages of sleep. Your body needs to experience all 3 stages of sleep: light sleep, the REM or dream state, and deep sleep to fully repair and restore itself. I don't think that they're really talking about like a glass of wine or a beer.
Uh,
I think what they're talking about is like binge drinking, because that will
uh,
totally
I'm thinking the
mess up
opposite,
your
bro.
sleep.
I'm thinking just the opposite. I think they mean anything.
I think only a Sith deals in absolutes, Mr. Ross.
Speaking of absolute, you guys watching YouTube, you might actually see Terrence taking a sip of from a bottle. What exactly is that, sir?
It's called Firestone Propagator Citra Hazy IPA.
Says the man who has no problem doing that. But yeah, bro.
I have no problem doing it. I just don't want to. See how that works?
Well, hell, that's probably gonna be the same for number 7 then potentially. But
Yeah. Yeah.
so
What do you got?
so number 7 is avoid heavy or spicy foods. This also makes sense. Heavy and spicy foods may give you heartburn or other digestive issues, thus affecting your ability to get and stay asleep. I think the key to point of that is staying asleep. As for sugar, studies show it's linked to restless, disturbed sleep and may possibly affect hormones that control craving. A light snack before bed is acceptable, according to the National Sleep Foundation. It recommends munching on a handful of nuts, a few cherries, things like that. Simple stuff, not like 2 pieces of cake or anything like that. But I
So
think that
not
makes
10
complete
piece
sense.
from Popeye. What you telling me?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So, but this last one, I'd probably say it's probably the second most important one. Just again, my personal opinion. Make the bedroom sacred. And last but not least, it says reserve your bed for sleep or sex. As normal as it seems to work from home or play games with the kids in bed, that doesn't teach your brain to view the bedroom as a place for slumber. I think that makes total sense, and that kind of goes back a little bit to number one when it comes to create a sleep nest in a way. So, so I mentioned that I only get about 4 to 5 hours a night, maybe. Um, and I go back to what I was saying that I feel like the developing a routine part, really, if you think about it, is really the basis for all of this stuff. Really, you know what I mean. If you think about it, your whole routine is going to involve three, four, five, six, seven, and eight. So for me, my problem is the reason what messes me up really it's not necessarily even the amount of sleep I get, it's the inconsistent sleep that happens with me on Sunday night. So I have a goal of at least trying to get in bed by midnight. Right? Now, my alarm is set to go off during the week at 5 a.m. so I can get up and go to the gym. Now, actually, might get changed to earlier. But but my problem is that Sunday night comes around, and even though going into that evening, I said, okay, I'm actually going to attempt to go to bed at a decent hour. For whatever reason, I have trouble with that because I always want to seem like I want to stay up and stay awake to keep the weekend going. So I'm always up to like 1, 2 in the morning. Still get up at 5. Oh, the alarm's still set at 5 o'clock. I might be a little groggy and slow getting up, but I still get up. So the problem comes in is that come Monday night, after a full day of work and all the other stuff and dealing with you during the production meeting, I sit down on the couch ready to watch TV. I'm out by 9 o'clock, right? So the problem that comes in with that is my body clock just wakes me up at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I can't go back to sleep. So now I'm up
Oh my.
till like 5 in the morning before I go to the gym. And so it's just a rotation thing that keeps me going on throughout the whole week. So that's my problem there. That routine, I have a bad routine that gets me off to a horrible start during the whole week. And then my sleep is all messed up for the whole week. So that's why I feel like personally, number two, I think is the holy grail when it comes to getting your sleep right, getting a good routine in. What do you think about everything, Terrence? All eight of these things.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, Jason, that the routine is is really just that is the foundation. When you say, okay, I'm gonna kind of wind down, and the really neat thing is that I have an assortment, a cornucopia, if you will, of apps and notifications telling me, hey, you should probably start winding down. And that's really what's helped me create that routine is that by about 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock on a Sunday, it's like, okay. And maybe this helps the fact that, in my neighborhood, garbage day is Monday. Fun fact, in the previous neighborhood, garbage day was also Monday. So I fucking love Mondays. It's like, man, I I look forward to Mondays the way some actually look forward to the weekend. Because for me, garbage day, aka Monday, is a chance to start anew. It's like I have amnesia about all the bullshit, all of the personal and professional fuckery of the last 6 or 7 days, and say, okay, we're gonna clean slate this bad boy, and we're gonna start anew. Let's hit it hard. That's how I feel about Mondays. I feel like, man, I can't wait to, push out the garbage cans, and I just feel like, okay, I'm working with a new setup altogether, because out with the old, in with the new. But part of that involves having a good routine where I feel like I can be successful, crack of dawn Monday morning. So just kind of setting all the dominoes in place so that they fall just right. That's been a big part of my success. Like I just love waking up on Mondays. I'm like, man, look, can't wait.
I like the symbolism of that. That you take out the trash, as in taking out all the garbage and crap that happened in this past week, putting it in the trash. Boom, I'm done, and now I'm off to go to the gym or work, start my new week off. I like that. I like that symbolism, man. That's a good way to look at that. Uh, Hopefully, for those of us who don't have garbage days on Mondays, can find some other way to do that, or maybe if at least even even if the garbage isn't being picked up on Mondays, maybe it's still making sure you have enough garbage to take out on Mondays to kind of get that symbolism going. Last week, putting in the garbage, all that trash in the garbage, boom, moving forward to all the good stuff that's gonna happen next week. So I like that symbolism, yeah, man. And that's I really and it's really gonna take for me to get that routine going down up here. Just actually going into Sunday, or okay, this is gonna be a day. I'm actually gonna go to bed at their normal route, planned time, stick to it, no matter what's going on TV, and that's it. But I think one thing that I think is really going to start helping, um, two things. And number two here it says go to bed and get up at the same time each day, even on the weekends on your days off. Um, but not that specifically, but I think the important part that is for me is whenever okay, like if my goal is to get in bed by midnight or before midnight, start the process 11 o'clock. Even if that means shutting the TV off, shutting the phone off, doing something else for the next hour that's productive, but not anything designed to keep you awake, but doing something else, instead of still watching TV from 11 to midnight and then trying to get into bed. Because even if I get into bed at midnight, like planned, according to, you know, number three, when it comes to cutting off the lights, I saw another article as well that said, to get better sleep, if your bedtime's 9 o'clock, try shutting off all the screens and stuff at 8 o'clock instead of sitting in the bed looking at that light for another hour. That's not helping you get in that deep sleep. So
Oh yeah, it's
I think even
literally
that's gonna
lead
help too.
time for your task, and that task is sleep. I mean, you literally can't do the things that you need to do either personally or professionally if you're fucking exhausted. And I feel like a big part of why people have such an issue with sleep is FOMO, whether it's like fear of missing out with something like a funny group message text exchange, which the irony is, chances are there isn't such a thing as a group message text exchange. Those are all horrible, and you typically leave the group. But my point is, guys, is that typically what's happening isn't actually productive. It's just some bullshit that you're doing to avoid something else. It's no different, and I'm guilty just as everybody else. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, TikTok, you name it. Just cat videos shooting fucking laser beams. It's the same shit. And if you know you got to be somewhere at a certain time, there's only X amount of hours in the day, and there's only you know X amount of time in which you have to do those things, and you're not going to be able to do those things if you're literally squandering the time that you do have to get ready to go to bed. So I find for myself personally, I am more productive not only at home, but at the gym and abroad. Whether it's landscaping projects or what have you. If I've at least had 5 hours of sleep, um, the one thing I will say, I don't know if I would agree with. Oh, you should also get up at the same time on the weekend. If that works for you, great, do it. For me, typically what'll happen is I'm notorious for waking up before my alarm goes off anyway. Like, shout out to all those people that their brain literally says, your brain says their goal is to wake up at least 15 minutes before the alarm goes off. Isn't that awesome?
No,
No, it's not. No, it's not. But my brain will routinely do that. Just wake up and like, oh shit, like it's 3:46. And at that point, there's no point in going back to bed because you're just gonna be angry. Just get up, brush your teeth, floss, put on some gangster rap and handle it.
for sure, man. Even yeah, I definitely feel you on that one. I mean, because right now I have my alarm set Monday through Friday for 5 a.m. Saturday at 9 a.m., which I'm always up before that, and then Sunday I don't have my alarm set at all. Um, that's what I do. But even if you were someone who wanted to have some, semblance of a routine even on the weekends, what one could do is make sure that your alarms are set for the same day, same time on Saturday and Sunday. That way, you just have some symbiosis, you know, for those 2 days at least. But I definitely agree with you. There's no way I'm getting up at 5 a.m. on Saturday. I mean, if my body wakes me up, body clock, great. But yeah, I'm not setting my alarm for 5 o'clock on Saturday. Although I will say I've been started riding my bike on Saturday morning, so maybe I should. I don't know.
If you find that that's working out for you, do it, man. But
Especially now that it's hot, man. So
yeah, yeah, man. Find a schedule that works for you. So I applaud your cardio initiatives. So, all
hashtag
right.
do me.
Yep. Hashtag do you. Um, Coming up, we will have our closing thoughts for episode 11 on Cow Park Bros.